Have you ever looked at your grocery bill and just felt ripped off? Like you're paying the same amount of money or maybe even more, but you're getting less stuff? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. Let's dig into the trick that's quietly shrinking your products and draining your bank account.
Take a look at this. On the left, a bag of Doritos from just a few years back, 9¾ ounces. On the right, today's bag, 9¼ ounces. That might not sound like much, but it's about 5 fewer chips. And get this, the price? It's exactly the same. This is not some accident, it's a strategy, and it has a name.
It's called shrinkflation. You might also hear it called package downsizing, but it's all the same thing. Companies make the products smaller, but they keep the price the same. It's basically a hidden price increase. And believe me, it is happening all over the grocery store. And oh, it is not just chips. Your Gatorade bottle, it went from 32 ounces down to 28. That's a 12.5% drop. That giant can of Folgers coffee your parents buy, it lost almost 15% of its weight. Even your toilet paper, Cottonelle literally cut 28 sheets out of the roll. See, each change is small enough that they hope we won't notice, but it adds up like crazy. So, this leads to the big question, right? If this is happening with so many products we buy all the time, how in the world do these huge companies get away with it? Well, the answer isn't in economics, it's actually in psychology. Just think about it for a second. You can probably tell me the price of a gallon of milk off the top of your head, but can you tell me the exact weight in grams of your favorite box of cereal? Yeah, probably not. And companies are absolutely banking on that fact. The whole secret is based on this old scientific principle called Weber's Law. It sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. Imagine you're holding a 10-pound weight. If I add a tiny pebble, you won't notice. But if I add a 2-pound weight, you definitely will. That tipping point, the smallest change you can actually detect, is called the just noticeable difference. And this is the part they've weaponized. Companies literally calculate that just noticeable difference for their products. They make sure the reduction, those 5 missing Doritos, is small enough to fall just below our brain's detection threshold. It is a carefully calculated move designed to fly right under your radar. And here's the real kicker. Study after study shows that we, as consumers, pay up to 5 times more attention to the price of an item than to its weight or quantity. We are all trained to notice if a price jumps from $4 to $5. We are not trained to notice if a package shrinks by ½ ounce, and they know it. Now, whenever they get caught, the excuse you'll hear from these companies is always the same. Oh, it's rising costs, it's inflation. They swear they have to do this to avoid raising prices. But, when you actually follow the money, a very, very different story starts to unfold. Let's just take PepsiCo, for example. They make Doritos and Gatorade, 2 of the biggest offenders here. So during that period of high inflation, did their business suffer? Not exactly. Their revenue skyrocketed from around $79 billion to almost $92 billion. That's a massive jump, and it was driven by charging more for less. But here, right here, is the real aha moment. This chart shows their gross profit margin. Now, if they were just trying to cover their rising costs, you'd expect this number to stay flat, or maybe even go down. But instead, look, their profit margin actually grew. It went past pre-inflation levels. They weren't just surviving inflation, they were cashing in on it. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This is a direct quote from one of their own earnings calls with investors. They bragged about their pricing power and effective cost management. That's just slick corporate speak for, we found we can charge more for smaller packages, and it's making us a lot of money. So let's just call it what it is. Shrinkflation isn't some unfortunate side effect of a tough economy. It is a core business strategy designed to boost profits, and inflation just happens to be the perfect cover story. Okay, so you've been tricked. Honestly, we all have. But the good news is, now you know the game. And once you know the rules, you can start to fight back. And you're not the only one. Governments are finally starting to catch on. France is now making stores put up labels that call out products that have been downsized. Brazil and South Korea have brought in similar rules to force companies to be more transparent. So yeah, it's a real, recognized problem. But listen, you don't have to wait for new laws to pass in your country. You, right now, already have the single most powerful tool to defend yourself against shrinkflation every time you walk into a store. So here is your game plan. First, and this is the most important one, ignore the big price tag. Instead, look for the unit price on the shelf label. The tiny print that says price per ounce or per gram or per sheet. That is the truth teller. Second,
Get suspicious anytime you see new and improved look on a package. A redesign is the perfect cover for quietly shrinking what's inside. And third, if you buy groceries online, your order history is your best friend. It's a perfect record of what things used to cost and how big they were.
So, let's recap your toolkit. You've got the shelf tag for the real price, the unit price. You've got your phone's camera to snap a photo of the weight so you can compare it next time. You've got a suspicious eye for any package that's shouting about its new look. And you've got your grocery apps, which are basically your own personal shrinkflation archive. The entire goal of shrinkflation is to work just below the level of your awareness. But now, you're aware. You know the psychology, you know the real financial reason they do it, and you know exactly how to spot it. So the only question left is, what are you going to see the next time you go shopping?